Time now for Sid 6-0. This is where I get 60 seconds into blah, blah, blah. Maple Leafs got a big win last night. Prior to yesterday, their best performance of the season was a couple of Saturday nights back against Winnipeg. They beat the Jets in Winnipeg to kick off their road trip. But the most important part of that night was how aggressive they were. They were sticking up for each other. It wasn't a series of fights, but it doesn't have to be. The Leafs, who sometimes kind of have their head in the clouds when it comes to defending a teammate, were defending teammates. Last night, towards the end of the 5-2 win, this happened. It was Austin Matthews trying to be goaded into something by Travis Konechny of the Philadelphia Flyers. Number 34 is important. We can run at any time, guys. Number 34 is very important in what they do. And clearly, they wanted to get something going with him. Watch what happens here. You rarely see it. The Leafs as a team say, shut the front door. And that's how you do that. He's a 60-goal scorer, and don't let guys get away with that garbage with your 60-goal guy. And Matthews, to his credit, also kept chirping, which I like. A lot of positives last night. To me, that was right up there. J.D. Bunkus, Sportsnet 590, The Fan, joining us. J.D., your thoughts on the video we just saw, and generally, what did you absorb from last night?
Well, I learned that if you're drafting a football team, that Mark Giordano is the #1 pick on the list. Like, there's no question about that. Two is, I kind of like that Matthews almost looked like he was going to drop the gloves. It's not like you want your 60-goal scorer ever getting in a scrap. You remember Connor McDavid broke his hand in junior when he got into a tussle.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit too much risk than reward. But even still, I think a lot of people want to see the Leafs stick up for each other, but they also want to see Austin Matthews play with some bite. And so the fact that he was engaging in the rough stuff, I think that leadership starts at the top. And when you see your captain or your best player engage in stuff like that, you as a team are probably going to respond in kind. So last night, I thought the Leafs were looking for leadership. They were looking for somebody to step up and grab the wheel. And their captain, John Tavares, scores a hat trick, one of the most beautiful goals of his career. His teammates stick up for one another when things get rough, into the rough and tumble stuff. I just have a harder time picturing a better performance from them, again, against a bad Flyers team. But you can only play who's in front of you, and good teams beat the brakes off of bad teams.
Listen, I'm with you, because it wasn't – look, I think the feeling we're all getting from the Leafs this season is it's not going to be a perfect Picasso pretty much ever. Like, if they win a game, they're going to win it, but there's going to be – like, William Nylander's going to take back-to-back penalties, right? And to start the third period, they're going to be asleep and have to have Samsonov bail them out in behind them when there's a clear-cut breakaway, essentially. So it's going to be that kind of year. I think we all are aware of that. John Tavares, we've got 40 seconds, JD. John Tavares, if that's a sign of things to come, better late than never. That was great last night.
It was big. And again, he's not a guy that's a vocal leader. He's a guy who everyone has always said the same thing. When he came to Toronto, when he's criticized in Toronto, whenever, he's a lead by example guy. So when John Tavares is going to feel best about himself is when he has an awesome game, when he scores a hat trick. And now you're heading into a contest against Boston, Pittsburgh, another one with the Golden Knights. This is a tough stretch for the Leafs. They need their best players to be performing at their best. And so having John Tavares, I think, rip one like that last night is huge for them.
Samsonov again. Has he been the best player on the Leafs so far this season?
Tavares 1, Samsonov 2.
I'll take either or. Because Samsonov, that save to start the third period, wow. Like, that would have made it 2-2. They'd blow another third period lead right off the front. Who knows what the fans would be doing? It would have been a different environment at Scotiabank last night. J.D. Bunkus, appreciate you. The J.D. Bunkus podcast, 9 to 11 a.m. daily on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. J.D., man, appreciate you. Let's talk soon. Good stuff. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Ben.